Okay, good morning. Morning. Exodus, Teruma, 7, no. Isisa,
171.
correct the Mongo. Thank you. Sixth reading, Exodus 34, 10 through 26. Morning, you're asking us. God then renewed the covenant he forgot with the Jewish people at Mount Sinai. Oh, could you hear us clear? Hold on.
Should buy tiny mics for us.
What I would really like to do is get something like this. That's
See, if you want it professional,
I'm sure they have. See,
and
a
to have
little
it
simple
would
thing like
look
this.
cool,
Okay.
we got
God then renewed the covenant he
By
forged
my
with the
turn.
Jewish people at Mount Sinai, which has been rendered null and void by the sin of the golden calf. Part of the covenant was God's promise to give the Jews the land of Israel, which was then occupied by the 7 Canaanite nations. I mean, I thought a covenant was not was is something that you can't negotiate, you can't get rid of, right? The whole point of it is that if anything changes in the future, we'll still be together.
purifying thoughts, speech, and action. Hineni Veiresh Ripanacha as Emiri Kanani Achiti Perizi Vachizi Vahaivusi. Shemos Lamed Dalid Yadalid. God instructed Moshe to tell the Jewish people, I am going to drive out before you the Amorites, the Canaanites, the Hittites, the Breezes, the Chivis, and the Yevusis. Let's see. I mean, purifying your thoughts would be good because then you're like giving your thought to think good and not bad. Speech and action. I mean, they're two different things. So, yeah.
Rabbi Yaska, are you there?
Okay. This week, somebody told me the story with Eliyahu Novi Bar Carmel, the parsha of this week, the Haftarah of this week. So everything's about Eliyahu Novi every second. Wherever I move is Eliyahu Novi. So it's crazy. When you start to see everything is in your way, everything becomes you. So Sean Schwarzer, you see everything comes to you. It's not even you don't have to go out of your way. You have to be yourself. Like you are, you love to be yourself. The best place you found to be yourself. The best. What can be better than Elijah in many places in one shot? It's reality. So each time I hear about a story about Eliyahu Novi, I'm getting crazy. Because it's so logic. It's so logic. I learned a mind of the Rebbe. I didn't realize it's a mind Mercedes is. I don't know. It's too much. I know too much. Because I'm the creator. It's not too much. That's why it's too much. Basically, so the only my existence is you guys. My existence is not exist. I don't exist. Only you guys exist.
Thank you, Rabbi Yaska.
Get the
Tony?
idea that only you guys exist.
1 second. I'll pass.
More.
Shalom.
And good morning, everyone. Yeah. Um, I don't even know what to say. Like I find that like after not using anything for a while, like it's been like a few weeks now, to like change my reality. I'm seeing that like yeah, life is pretty trippy in and of itself, which is something like which is essentially the reason I was using these things. I'm fascinated by like the way I don't know, just by life. It's pretty cool. But like now that like I see how substances affect me in other ways, it's pretty cool that like life itself with its ups and downs is like in and of itself just a trip if I'm just paying attention. And it's really cool. And like I also like the transition between like a dream state and an awake state because it's very confusing to like differentiate reality from not reality. And I don't know, like some of it carried over into this morning, but it was all in my subconscious, but I don't know. It was just a weird feeling. I enjoy that feeling of like not knowing. Um, I'm not going anywhere with this really. I'm just thinking out loud a bit. But yeah.
Thank you very much, Itzi, Ryaska, Yoni, for attempting, and Shalom Yashir Koyach. Good to see you. I find that something that we don't take advantage of enough, and we could if we want to, is if you don't have anything to say, or even if you do have something to say, you can always read. You can always read a little bit, and then speak. So never feel like you don't have anything to say. And it's good to, of course, it's good to try to get yourself to speak, to say different things. Definitely, feelings are important, different things like that. But to read is always a go-to. You can always get there. So even when we finish, we could do it again, which I've done a few times. Only 6 of the 7 Canaanite nations are mentioned here. The Girgashites are missing from the list. This is because the first 6 Canaanite nations personified the 6 unrectified emotions of the animal soul, while the Girgashites personified the animal soul drive to express these unrectified emotions in thought, speech, and action. When we rectify the 6 emotions of our animal soul, we will not have to worry about combating any drive to express them. Wow, this is like literally the opposite of what I learned, so I need to understand this properly.
Oh, it's Feisty. Let's see.
Rabbi Yaske.
So I want to share with you something not real. So you hear me? You hear me?
Yes, we
So
can.
I see Yoni. I want to. Now I thought about Yoni before because I wonder how Yoni is going to be a part of life all the way. Very much. I want to share with you something very crazy, something practical that you don't know how to do, but only if you learn Posach Leo, you know how to do it. So you're gonna love it. How you paint yourself with the inside organs, with everything about yourself. Can you paint yourself? This is Posach Leo. Paint yourself. But when you paint yourself, don't forget to paint yourself how you paint yourself. Then you have to paint yourself how you paint yourself. Then you have to paint yourself how you paint yourself. You paint yourself. So how can you really paint yourself how you paint yourself? This is Posach Leo. The impossible painting that is you is painted. Basically, you paint yourself how you paint yourself, and how you paint yourself, you paint yourself. And extra, that I will love, you should paint myself. This is Pastor Leo. So I keep painting myself how I paint myself. So This is amazing, amazing. So many pains I made till now. I'm going and going and going and going and going, and this is reality.
Yes, Yoni,
Pass.
Shalom.
Um, so I'll just relate an experience I had yesterday. So we've been doing FiveAlive for a while, and then basically by dinner, I was sitting with some guys, and they were like, one of them suggested we do with whoever was sitting by the table. There was 5 of us, and basically every person at the table says something honest about the other person that they like want to say. So we did it. Everyone went around. I think a lot of good things were said, and I think like I got a very nice perspective on. I always wonder what people thinking are thinking of me, and like besides the good, I also saw like little things that I do that I'm not very aware of. Even though like I'm trying my hardest to be aware of it, there's always things that are gonna slip by because I'm not perfect. And it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool to like get to see everyone's perspectives on me, and to give my perspective and get to see other people's perspectives on other people in a very honest fashion, like no filters, like the thoughts themselves. And I can't tell how much time I have left. If it's like under 20 seconds, I pass.
Okay. Thank you. What a trip by Rabieska. And thank you, Shalom. It's I don't even remember what you said anymore. I have to write things down to remember. Oh, you passed. You passed the okay. So, anyways, but until this process is complete, we must control our faculties of thought, speech, and action in order to ensure that they serve only holy purposes and not those of the 6 unrectified emotions of our animal soul. The next verse, therefore, enjoins us to be aware lest you make a treaty with the inhabitants of the land that you are entering, as they become a snare in your midst. Kedusha volume 21, pages 229 folio. So it gets, a few, like I said, seem the opposite of what I learned before, but I think it's fairly, this is what I understand. Our job, what am I actually responsible for? I'm responsible to make sure my thought, my speech, and my action are as supposed to be. That's my responsibility. That's my domain. That's that's my charge. And in regards to the emotions, basically, I'm not meant to delve into them to try to rectify them, but I am supposed to be able to identify them and know what's going on.
Yeah. I think that it's a good idea what Sham said. What about with his friends at night? They all went around saying good things about each other. Um, I mean, sometimes people could slip and say something bad instead of the good. Um, this is like talking about the speech of and like the action is like, yeah, I wanted, if like you speak about what you're gonna do, then like, yeah, I'm gonna come here, I'm gonna speak about stuff that I want to do tomorrow or something like that, and then the action is I don't really do it. But like usually, if you say something about someone, it might be the right thing, but it might be like not the action of what you're thinking of him.
Yoni?
I am here.
Can I read the last paragraph?
Sure.
Okay. But until this process is complete, we must control our faculties of thought, speech, and action. Sorry about that. I gotta go.
Tell him.
Yeah, well, like just continuing on what I was saying before a little bit. Like the way we did it was like we it was like what we ended up gravitating towards was like one thing that like you truly believe that's nice about the other person, and like some constructive criticism. And I think it, like because it was done with the like right intentions in mind, turned out into a very nice thing. It wasn't about like offending another person. It was just about to like you have thoughts on the other person that you want to say, and they're willing to accept those thoughts, whether they be true or not. But like it's communication. I like it. And I'm like I'm really grateful to God for like putting myself in a position where like I'm thinking all about my thoughts, speech, and action all the time, like very heavily. And then what happens is he gives me something like the Tanya, which is like telling me exactly what to do, how I'm supposed to control all of them, like how to be a happier person. And I think I got it from other things before I got it from Tanya, but like, yeah, they weren't sustainable. And then like everything just fell into place beautifully. That's all I have to say.
Awesome to hear. Awesome to hear. And don't forget to smile, Sean. So serious today. Good stuff. Very, very good stuff. In regards to emotions, I think that what we're supposed to do is use our thoughts, speech, and action to influence them, but we don't delve into the actual emotion itself. I don't really even know what that means. But I believe that is the realm of a tzaddik, is to delve into the emotion and rectify them and perfect them. But basically, we don't do that. We do like what you're saying. We follow Tanya. Tanya tells us, think about this, you'll awaken love for God. Think about this, you'll awaken yira, right? Awe of God. And, as far as we could, it says, think in a certain way, you could awaken mercy, right? And the mercy will awaken love for your fellow Jew. Different ways of thinking, and by doing that, or meditating, contemplating, and by doing that, it actually awakens emotions as well, and kind of utilize them in the right way, which is good. It's amazing. It's amazing to feel pleasure from doing the right thing, from feeling happiness from doing the right thing, from truly loving a fellow Jew. It's really an amazing thing. I wanted to say something else and I forgot what.
Um, it's actually the best to just like have silence for a few minutes or something like that, because it gets your brain to like think of like what's happening, and like it gets your brain to like organize all the thoughts into one piece, one puzzle piece. Because when people talk like for a very long time, they're not really understanding what people are saying. But once you like relax and have no like no talking or something. It like makes your brain like have a few moments.
Okay, I'll read
Are
the
you there?
paragraph. But until this process is complete, we must control our faculties of thought, speech, and action in order to ensure that they serve only holy purposes and not those of the 6 unrectified emotions of our animals. So the next verse therefore enjoins us to beware lest you make a treaty with them with the inhabitants of the land, and that you are entering, lest they become a snare in your midst. I'm not going to read the source, and I'll pass.
Shalom.
I agree with what you were saying. It's very true. And why so serious? Because I don't know. I don't know why I'm serious. Because like I'm just like happy. Just feeling happy. Like reflecting on what happened. And I've been doing a lot of that. But I think like once at a certain point, like I'll just feel comfortable with whatever happened in the past completely. And then I'll just be able to start thinking just like about the future. But like I feel like I'm almost done. Like I'm almost at that point where it's like I can just start enjoying my life like completely and not thinking about what happened to me in the past and like letting that even like start controlling me. And I like what you're saying about the emotions and like the brain. I want to achieve that balance of like letting my brain lead with my emotions following very closely behind. I just want to trust my emotions more. I think they're right usually, but then I get scared. I scare myself with my thoughts.
I don't. Did I say why so serious?
Yeah.
I remember saying, "Don't forget to smile." Then I said, "Why so serious?" Ay 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 ay. Okay, nice. Purifying thought, speech, and action. God instructed Moses to tell the Jewish people, I am going to drive out before you the Amorites, the Canaanites, the Hittites, the Perizzites, the Hivites, and the Jebusites. If I may make a suggestion, I would say in the ideal situation, like a perfect situation, I would say that if we were going to do something like giving, saying something positive and then giving some constructive criticism, as you called it, I would say to make sure to give 4 positive things, and then you can say one constructive criticism. It's got to be heavily outweighed in order to make sure that the relationship actually remains there. People don't feel hurt. Yoni.
Yes, I'll read the source now. Look at the Zecha's volume 21, page 229, folio. So sorry for that whole fiasco. I'm going to pass, and I'm going to listen, and I'm going to pass for the rest of the turns.
I like that idea, but I just think that like we gave it very few rules, and I think it ended up being an overall very positive experience that like it wasn't like overthinking the process at all. It was just like just doing it and that's it. Yeah, I don't know. I know everything takes time, but sometimes I feel like I'm looking back at like a year ago. And I'm like, this is what I am. Like essentially I'm in the same place as before. Like, obviously, I look different. Things about me changed a little bit. I think a bit differently, but like for the most part, I'm the same person. Yeah, I waste my time on my phone still. I can't do certain things that I want to do. I don't feel like I have direction. These are all things that like they stick. I don't think they leave on their own. I think it takes like conscious effort to get to like move on from those. But it's very easy to slip back and fall into these habits because they're so sneaky. Yeah, okay, I'm done.
No, we've discussed this many times, but one of the tricks of the Yetzer Hara is that he doesn't actually want you to do the bad habit. He doesn't care so much for that. What he does want is the clutches that he gets you into afterwards, that you feel bad that you fell back into a bad habit. It's very difficult for us Gullus Jews to like realize. We have to like really get out of Gullus for us to realize that and to accept it. That God does not want us to feel bad. It is not the right thing. We just simply can't like convince ourselves of that. But it's wrong. We are not supposed to feel bad. Don't be sad. Don't dwell on, oh, I have to. Like, we're so convinced that we feel like we're forced to. Like, you're automatically. But really, it's completely our choice. And we choose to feel bad because we kind of like make it our punishment, like subconsciously. You're like, at least feel bad, you know? But it's not true. You want to feel bad, there's a way to do it. Tanya explains, set a specific time and at night, once a week, something like that, and you in private, and it's direct. You prepare it properly, and you right away finish it with being happy. So there's very specific criteria's got to fit.
Only 6 of the 7 Canaanite nations are mentioned here. The Gershonites are missing from the list. This is because the first 6 Canaanite nations personified personified the 6 unrectified emotions of the animal soul, while the Gershonites personified the animal soul drive to express these unrespectified emotions in thought, speech, and action. When we rectify the 6 emotions of our animal soul, we will not have to worry about combating any drive to express them. So I guess it's saying that, like, even though it said all 6, we're missing one, and we should always never forget the one.
Yeah, okay. A little less serious now. Yeah, I'm just chilling. Here. Hopefully Shabbos is gonna be nice. I get to relax a little bit. I've been feeling a little bit of stress recently. I don't know how to like define stress. I'm just feeling like I need to do a lot of work. I have a lot of things that need to get done that I'm not like I don't have full control over, which makes it difficult to get anything done. And I wish I did have full control over it, but again, that would be a lot more work for me. Yeah, I don't know. I need to let go. I need to let go of stuff. Let go of my crap. And like I know it so well. Like I know why I should do it. I know what's gonna happen when I do it. Like I feel like good when I don't do it. I mean when I do it. yeah, I don't know. Like it, and then for some reason, it just doesn't happen. I feel like I'm doing everything right up until then, but then like once I see myself in a situation where like things would change, things feel the same. Takes time. Takes time. Yeah, yeah.
Shalom, where are you? First of all, I would like to say silence. What you said about the silence thing, I completely agree. I don't know if were you was I doing it while you were in the class? A minute that we're just quiet and we think.
Circle.
Anyways, but it's a good thing to do. Definitely good if we utilize it right. It is an amazing thing to do. Um, um, I read this entire thing about what brings what. Does happiness bring joy? Does joy bring happiness? And basically, in short, joy brings happiness. So you gotta actually do it. I just listened to a Mashiach thing this morning, and it said that when Mashiach comes, everything that Hashem gives us will come directly to us, not through an entire process of whatever it is like now. So, how can we make that happen, sooner? Is by also behaving in that way. Then instead of like making a decision and then it has to go through an entire process until it happens, we can try to get rid of that process. So I think you can choose to be however you want to be at any point. And so,
So I was gonna finish off by saying like usually I mean I don't think that they should have left it out because um one two yeah they only have six and they said it's seven. Usually, like if someone wants to play a game or someone goes on a trip or something, you don't no one wants to be left out. So like I don't think that these the Gershon Knights should have been left out, but because most of the time, if someone is left out, they are usually miserable afterwards, and it usually affects their life because they realize that no one wants to be with them, and if they go on trips or if like they let's say they play a game of basketball or something, like everyone wants to be a part of it, and if there's one kid that wants to be part of it and there's three people left and there's two and like you don't know who to pick and then next thing you know you're the last one and then no one wants to pick you because even even if someone wants to trade with you, people usually don't want to trade because they think that it would be better for them to not have you on their team. So I mean most of the time people don't want to be left out, so I don't know why they had to leave this yeah.
Shalom.
So
On that note of like being left out, I think I always speak from my own experiences because I think those are like the biggest indicator of what other people go through. Just from like I hear what other people say, and like everyone goes through the same thing to a certain extent. First of all, I'm in the upstairs zal of Wilkes-Barre, if that's what you're asking. And Yitzi, I think that people push people they like. I think it starts off with people like seeing other people as things to be liked or not liked, like an accessory, and do I look good with them? And then once that happens, I think their friends can get influenced by that decision and feel like they'll be left out if they don't also shun that person. And yeah, none of us want to be left out, but we'll I'll push people out of my life. I mean, obviously not I don't try to do this, but like I'll end up pushing people out of my life because I don't want to get pushed out of someone else's life. And it's crazy. It's just crazy, honestly. But yeah, that's what it is.
Yasher koyach. Sheikh now. Have a wonderful, beautiful Shabbos. Adorable Shabbos.